got to know at our Build-a-thon in Raleigh, Barbara Durchek, who is a VISTA member serving with Habitat in Monmouth County. She'll tell a little bit about her story, but I just want to say I was incredibly moved and honored to get to know her and the chance to get to know, and she's going to tell you more, so please welcome Barbara to the stage.
Yeah, Barbara!
I'm going to have a little thing with this clicker. It's my first time operating this, so if I skip through and go to somebody else's part, bear with me. First thing I'd like to say is, that's me and Clyde. I'm honored and humbled to be able to speak before you today. My journey to becoming an AmeriCorps Vista began when Hurricane Sandy battered the East Coast. Sandy devastated our little town of Union Beach, New Jersey. 90% of our homes had between 2 to 10 foot of flood water. We stayed the night of the flood, even though we were supposed to evacuate, but we'd never been flooded in over 50 years, so I didn't expect to be flooded that time. We couldn't hold back the flood and debris, no matter how many towels we put under the doors and how many things we push up against the openings. Our things started floating. We watched as things which once helped define our lives, material things, were swept away in a tide we prayed would recede. Every second was like a silent prayer. We watched as pieces of buildings, doors, windows, even a restaurant that we frequented, pieces of that floated by our home. And one piece in particular, a wall lodged between my home and a fence we had. The restaurant was over 9 blocks away. We watched transformers explode and a family business burned to the ground. The silent days and dark, cold nights which followed were fractured by the sounds of sirens, military trucks, and occasional gunshot. We were under martial law, and there were looters. One of my friend's homes was split in half, and her children's toys were washed out into the road. Looters went in on a boat and took the flat screen TV off the wall. We had to protect ourselves because our police were stretched so thin, they called from different states for help. Many families lost their homes and there were only concrete steps left where there was once a house. You never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. We lost our personal vehicles, EMS, ambulances, fire trucks, our police cars, and our school. Our home was badly damaged and the wall was torn, which allowed the cold and wind, and this was October, and we were getting snow. It allowed it in my home, the home I had grown up in. After 12 days, our electric returned, but our town was forever changed. We were forever changed. My daughter left college, which she fought hard to get into, and anyone that's going to college now knows it's not easy because she had no transportation and no really clean clothes, things that are necessary for, especially for a girl. We tried to repair our home, and there's only so far duct tape will go. But the mold got so bad it made us sick. I think one of the pivotal points for me as a parent was when my daughter woke up one morning and her eyes were swollen shut. I knew I couldn't do it alone. I reached out to several organizations, but they were overwhelmed. Sandy was a historic storm, and they couldn't help. I became a number, my files were lost. We'll get back to you. I had this much hope when I went to Habitat. I contacted them, and they said, we're going to stay with you for the duration. We're going to work with you to rebuild. They came, and they rebuilt our home. We weren't a number, we were people. We had names, we had faces. They had names and faces. It wasn't just somebody over the phone. They gave from their hearts and helped heal ours. They touched our spirit. You're touching the spirits of people. You may never see the faces of these people, but you can't imagine how awesome that is, and how wonderful that is, and how blessed we are to be able to do that. We continued to volunteer long after our home was rebuilt, because I couldn't get away from them. I was just constantly with them. And I kind of fell in love with them. We fell in love with the volunteers and Habitat. Then a position opened up, and they thought I'd be perfect for it. But I had to become an AmeriCorps Vista. So I signed up to serve. Next thing I knew, I was on a plane to Texas. I hadn't flown. I hadn't flown since I was 16. So I was filming it. I was videoing myself and my face, and then we had turbulence, and I was, oh God. The guy next to me was like, what is wrong with this lady? But I went through my training, which was excellent, outstanding, and took my oath. I returned to Habitat with a newfound pride and direction. But I was lacking in some skills. Filling out timesheets and reports. Andrea, I know you know that. You rejected several of them. I had the privilege this past May working alongside some awesome AmeriCorps members, and I actually saw some of them, their faces, during a recent Blitz build in Wake County, North Carolina. And I have to tell you, when I came back from North Carolina, I was in the airport in North Carolina, and it was high fives. It was, yeah, hi, how you doing? I got to Newark. I said, hi, how you doing? The lady looks at me like, I was like, I'm back in Jersey. To quote Josh Groban in a song, you raise me up to more than I can be. I am Habitat, I'm AmeriCorps, I'm Vista.
Yeah, Barbara.
It's my honor to introduce Joel Wright. Joel is a social entrepreneur. Thank you very much. Driven by the question, what would the world, sorry, Joe. What's like, oh gosh, if all young people had access to leadership development, Joel's role is early development director, leadership beyond boundaries. Joel's engagement with CCM. I'm sorry, Joel, I'm slaughtering you, where are you? Joel was a consultant with the United States Olympic Committee, a director at Silver Bay YMCA, World Service Worker in Sri Lanka National Council of YMCAs, including Indian Ocean tsunami relief. 20 plus years ago, Joel's earliest days of employment were as a professional ski instructor, a tennis instructor, a camp counselor. Joel, you could have done a lot less, you know? More than 2 decades, Joel's work had been grounded in the field of human development, leadership development, and mentoring, coaching. He frequently writes and presents on the importance of expanding the leadership equation. Joel.